Welcome to the grand opening of the Revere Police Community Resource Office. It truly is a great day for the city of Revere. Before we get going, I'd like to recognize our elected officials. City Councilor Brian Arrigo, Ward 6 Councilor Charlie Patch, Ward 3 Councilor Arthur Guanasso, City Council President Ira Novoselsky, Councilor at Large John Correggio, Councilor at Large Jessica Gino, and Councilor at Large Anthony Zambuto, School Committee Woman Stacy Rizzo, and I think I have everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize former Boston Police Commissioner and Head of Security for Suffolk Downs, Paul Evans, Suffolk County Sheriff Tompkins. Thank you. Revere Police Fire Chief Gene Doherty. Revere Chief Financial Officer George Anzoni. And Revere Police Chief Joe Caffarelli. At this time, I'd like to bring up Mayor Dan Rizzo to say a few words.
So first off, I want to thank my colleagues that are here. Thank all of you for being here as we open up this new police substation. As we all know, the loss of the police station over here and the movement down to Route 16 has left a little bit of a void up here in the Broadway area. And so we started to hear that feedback coming from a lot of residents in and around this area who had for so many years been used to going to the police station right here and having access to services that were available. We started to work on that, myself along with members of the administration, the chief. I see some retirees here, Carl Borgioli, Donnie Cuccio, that have all still maintained that tie with the city in an effort to make Revere as safe and as livable a place as possible. That is my number one and has been my number one priority as mayor of the city, will continue to be my number one priority as mayor, is the safety of our residents. So I'm so proud to be able to stand here today in front of this new substation that's going to provide those services, that's going to help fill that void that has been missing over the last several years. So people can now stop by here for service during the day or whenever the chief hopefully can stretch that budget out and keep this as manned as often as possible, and provide that presence that I think people want to see, because I'm 100% convinced that visibility means a lot to people. I hear it every day with these walking patrols up and down Broadway. People appreciate that. They like to see law enforcement officials out there, and God knows they've earned their salary and earned their keep over these last 7 to 10 days with everything that we've gone through. And I also want to thank our other public safety officials that are here, members of our Revere Fire Department that are here to participate in this. Thank you very much. Because as we all know, they play a critical role in the quality of life and the safety of our residents also. So it's a very proud day for me to be able to open up this substation, have our community resource officer here. We have Dennis Michella, retired member of the Revere Police Department, and who is our community resource, well, actually, Jerry Salvati. Where's Jerry? Jerry Salvati. He's our community resource officer. But Dennis, we pulled him out of retirement. He's here, and he's helping run the show here with Jerry. And they've already made a tremendous impact in this area and really throughout the city with the work that they've done. So I want to thank them and thank the chief for really taking our request to heart and making this happen so quickly. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to David. I know there's a couple other people that are here that have taken time out of their busy schedules that would like to just say a few words. And And with that, I'll turn it back over to David. But again, thanks so much for all of you for being here and being as supportive as you have for our efforts in helping keeping Revere a safe and a great community for people to live, work, and raise a family. And so thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I forgot to introduce Pat Hagan from the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office. I want to introduce you. Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is, I'd like to introduce Chief Caffarelli. Do you want to say a couple of words?
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming out for our grand opening, our ribbon cutting. And I have to say, it's nice to have something fairly routine as a ribbon cutting to address today. It's a nice, something nice to fall back on. And it's good to be back on Pleasant Street. First and foremost, it's good to be back here. I spent 20 years of my career on Pleasant Street. My family's worked on Pleasant Street in the old station, and we're back. We're back in the Broadway area. We're back where we belong, amongst the community. And secondly, this is not my station. It's your station. This is here for community. We have numerous community-based programs we plan to initiate. Retired Officer Michelle is going to run every one of them. We're going to keep him good and busy, as well as Jerry and whatever other interns I can put in here to keep it open for you. It's your station. It's not mine. It's for you. And I'll be brief, so we'll cut it off right there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, I'd like to bring up Suffolk County Sheriff Steve Tompkins, please.
I will keep this brief. There's two things that I want to say. Number one, this is great to have this substation here. As you know, at the Sheriff's Department, our mandate is care, custody, and control. And let me briefly break that down for you. Custody is imprisonment, and that's our job to keep the streets safe. Control. We work to try to change the behavior of the folks that come to stay with us so that when they get out and they are coming back home, they do not further negatively impact you guys. And care. Care is what we do to keep the citizens of Suffolk County, and in this case, Revere, safe. And so I'm really glad to see this open. Thank you, Mayor Rizzo, for inviting me down to speak and say hello. But here's the second and the larger reason that I wanted to come down and say hello, and that was to the Chief. Chief, we really do thank you for all that you did this weekend in catching the second suspect. And really, it's heartfelt to us because Sean Collier's roommate is one of my officers. He works for me. They've lived together for 10 years as roommates. They live in a house of 4 in Somerville, and we are really shaken by, as is the whole community, by that. And so we really thank you and your guys for capturing this guy and more importantly, capturing him alive so that we can find out exactly what motivated this so that we can work and be more diligent to make sure these kind of things don't happen again. So we really do thank you, sir. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Sheriff Tompkins. I also wanted to mention that Kathy Reinstein, Senator Petroselli, and Speaker DeLeo also wanted to be here this evening but couldn't attend. They're holding budget meetings at the State House. At this time, I want to introduce Boston Commissioner Paul Evans, former Boston Police Commissioner Paul Evans, to say a couple of words.
I don't think anybody's going to confuse the present Boston Police Commissioner. Eddie Davis has done an absolutely terrific job, as has all of law enforcement. I think you can be really proud of the great job they've done. I'm here to congratulate Mayor Rizzo and Chief Caffarelli for having opened this station. I got a real sense of what this means in community policing. Unfortunately, when I was the commissioner, not when I was the commissioner, but back in the 80s in Boston, we closed police stations, and that devastated communities. And we did eventually reopen them, and I saw firsthand what that meant to those communities. So don't underestimate the value of this building down here and in what it'll mean to Revere's efforts to achieve community policing. That real sense of a place to go, the community's here, and again, believe me, I've seen it firsthand. It's very important. Congratulations, and let me add my thank you to Joe Caffarelli and his people for the great job they did Thursday night. Thanks, folks.
Thank you. I also want to recognize Bob Upton, President of the Revere Chamber of Commerce. Bob, thank you. At this time, I'd like to bring up Pat Hagan from the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office.
Thanks very much. I will be brief. I know those are famous last words from anybody who's an attorney, but I promise I will be brief. I'm Patrick Hagan. I'm the first Assistant District Attorney for Suffolk County, and I'm here on behalf of District Attorney Dan Conley, who really wanted to be here, but he sent me along. And we wanted to be here because both Dan and I have been prosecutors for myself close to 20 years, Dan about the same, and we've had the remarkable privilege of those 20 years to work with the outstanding men and women of the Revere Police Department. So we're very proud of that, and Dan Conley wants to send his congratulations to Mayor Rizzo, Chief Caffarelli at the opening of this police substation, and to again extend our thanks and appreciation for those many years of collaboration and hard work to keep these streets safe and to hold criminals accountable. You've come a real long way. I remember spending a lot of time in that building right down there when I had a lot more hair. I think Carl Borgioli may have been with me on a few occasions, but there he is. But you've come a real long way, and as former Commissioner Evans said, this substation is a true testament to this department's commitment to community policing. And if anything, in addition to the unbelievable bravery of police officers that has been shown by this past week has also shown how important it is for community members to have trust and faith in their police department, to pass on information, such as the many photographs that helped law enforcement get those criminals last week. And this substation will assist in that process. So again, congratulations, Mayor Rizzo, Chief Caffarelli. I look forward to the continued collaboration and excellent relationship between our offices. 1, 2, 3.